we as humans are not in the right position to decide, especially the parents are not in the right position to decide what kind of child they like to have.
We should find a good way to allow science to interfere maybe with us, with our nature, with our human nature. And I think if it's just to make sure that the baby will be healthy and it won't have any sickness, I think it could be fine, as long as you make sure that you don't endanger the kid.
Can the human race be ameliorated? The Nazis tried to do so, and we know the result. Let us trust nature as it is, and its incredible diversity.
Hey. Because you are what you are, and
maybe in the future this will be the norm, and if it can save people's lives, then I suppose that's a benefit. But maybe because it seems very strange to me.
No, because the second child, having a child for the purpose or with an intention of having them so that they can be, you can use them to harvest things for your first child, is robbing your child's bodily autonomy, and they can't give consent to that. So, no.
What? Just what I said. I think a lot of things has to be go by nature, natural.
As human beings, like if we want to advance as far as our society can advance, we should always strive to be better.
What it means, basically, yes, it means I think we need a rule for the society. Actually, it depends on the society.
It kind of reminds me of what it has been done in the past by Adolf Hitler, and then how he wants to make all this baby from the Aryans, if it is not mistaken. And I watched the documentary about how they want to modify the DNA of the babies, how they want to create a generation for the future, the best ever, and then it was like a disaster.
After hearing the public opinion about designer babies, let's see what the definition is. A designer baby is a baby whose genetic makeup has been selected in order to eradicate a particular defect or to ensure that the particular gene is present. In order to decide whether utilitarianism approves of designer babies, we need to look at the definition of utilitarianism. John Mill says, utility holds that actions are right in proportion as they tend to promote happiness, wrong as they tend to produce the reverse of happiness. That means, if an action maximizes happiness, then it leads to social welfare. Therefore, it is a morally right thing to do.
Hi everyone, we're here to talk about a new phenomenon, which is a designer baby, a phenomenon which is getting bigger and bigger. And we're starting with the first question, which is it a good thing for the humanity?
A good thing for humanity? Well, obviously it is. I mean, what are we talking about here? What designer baby is? It's a step for humankind. And why is that? Because it is about preventing diseases. Let's not forget about this. The goal of this designer baby progress is to stop the propagation of contagious or genetical diseases. And what is it about? It's about making a society where people, can live together, maximizing their happiness and maximizing their welfare. So obviously it's a good thing. Obviously it is.
Oh, I don't think so. It's against humanity, because designer babies may increase some form of discrimination or racism. Designer baby means choosing their babies characteristics by parents. Parents may choose white color baby or blue eyes babies. Then, as a whole, maybe society holds a mess of discrimination. So, as a result, it may be against humanity. No, we shouldn't do that.
Well, my dear colleagues, I think this is a question which is really wrongly posed. So, what does it mean? Does it maximize happiness, or is it good for humanity? If you want to see it from a moral point of view, you don't look at the consequence, which is maximizing happiness. You have to look at the human being, and if you respect the human being as an end in itself. So if we want to act morally right, we have to act out of a duty, and acting out of a duty means respecting the humankind and the human being as an end to itself and not as a means in a society. So the question is, by producing designer babies, do we use the humankind as a means, or do we respect their human dignity? Do we see them as an end in themselves? This is the question.
So can we say that designer baby is using human as a mean for over human? And is it against human dignity?
No, I don't think so. Because what is good for the society is also good for each person individually. It's not contradictory at all. I would just like to come back on what you said before. You talked about the discriminated society.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry to tell you that it is naive for me to say that, because we already are in a discriminated society.
No, I'm talking about the future, not now. And you said making society better is good for every individual, but when it comes to designer baby, it isn't like this, because designer baby is for babies is to be manipulated by parents. They don't have any right to choose, free choice, so it's against human dignity. No.
You see, for me it's about the motive. So if you want to create desirable traits like intelligence, beautiful babies, athletic babies, for the society, then you use this child as a mean for something else. This is not what morality is about. So if it's not for the sake of a human being and for their end in themselves, then it's a problem.
So now we're going to a common fear, which is what are the limits of this phenomenon, and how can we be sure that it will not lead to a terrible human selection? How is it possible to control it?
Well, I think the debate should only be open for reducing illnesses, because then you really do something for preserving life, for preserving the human being, their human dignity, and actually enabling them to choose an end for themselves, but not to make the society better as a whole. That's not how you use things.
No, I'm sorry. For me, it's a dystopia. It's only fantasies. It's not a real thing.
No, I don't think so. Actually, if Hitler did some sort of Thatcher thing, in interviews someone answered about Hitler, so maybe someone may use in bad way. So we should complete ban the designer baby.
Thank you very much for your contribution. It was a pleasure to have you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
To conclude whether designing babies would be deemed moral, let's do a utilitarian cost-benefit analysis. Benefits would be there are no severe illnesses anymore, and only desired babies, which leads to family balancing and happy parents. People with desirable traits add to the general welfare of the society as a whole, and this ultimately leads to the evolution of humankind. Costs could be a possible discrimination, possible loss of diversity with no evidence though, and a harm to individual rights and a change to human nature. Since utilitarianism is concerned about maximizing the general welfare and the individual rights are not as important, therefore one could say that designing babies in the light of utilitarianism would be deemed moral.
However, this utilitarist approach can be criticized. For Kant, creating designer babies in order to have a better society is immoral, as the babies are only seen as means to achieve a goal. In addition, some interviews showed that people reject this theory simply because they think it's scary, reminding them of Hitler's eugenic will of creating a pure race. So, designer babies, opening the doors for a perfect world or creating a dystopia based on eugenicism.
My heart is like an open